All right, those are working. We're gonna have this. Don't know why this keeps falling. All right, we are live. I want to create. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, and then I have to upload that. I have to intentionally. That looks wrong. All right, we're gonna start here in about a minute. Maybe. Okay, getting pissed off. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay, so I have to take all of this. All right, guys, it is 7:31, and I am just trying to figure out this last little bit. Let me see if this will work. Okay. We're gonna see. We are gonna see. So today I am talking about the 60-second fix and flip analysis that we made. People asked, why would you go to somebody like me? And it seems that most people aren't very interested, or at least don't seem to understand the value of the bookkeeper portion of it. So we are looking into showing why knowing the numbers is so important. There we go. we are going to see if I did it right. Ha 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 ha. I did. But that one would have to go. And then let's put that one there. Oh. I think I did it. I think I did it. Share and download. Alright, so y'all are probably like, okay, what did you do? Let's go over here. I know it says like 3 more minutes. I was a little slower on that, but let me. Oh wow, that's really blurry. Hold on. We're gonna open. Yeah, one of these days I'll try to figure out how to handle it. Let's see if this is the right one. This is the right one. So, nope. Yes. All right, guys. Welcome to our first interactive PDF. It's the 60-second fix and flip analysis. Wow, why did this color change so badly? That is not supposed to be grouped. It is not supposed to come out that way. There we go. That's more of what the actual thing looks like. I don't know why it did that. We'll have to double check that when we upload. Just make sure. I don't know how that got changed. Anyway, all right. So the 60-second fix and flip analysis. What do you need it as an investor? Why do you care about it as a bookkeeper? Well, I can't really say from a bookkeeper strictly point of view, but I can say from a CFO point of view, it's very important. You are going to have a massive advantage if you have two things in real estate. One, you've got a bookkeeper who has all your financials in order on a dime. The bank will know, yeah, we can trust this person. Second is speed on the ground. And that's what I'm addressing here today. Speed on the ground. What do I mean by that? Let me zoom me on in here. Yay! Okay, so the 60-second fix and flip analysis. This is the property address. Now, this is an interactive PDF. This is not, I mean, you could, but it's not meant for you to print it out. It's meant for you to pull it up on your iPad or, oh, hey, look at that. See, this is a saying that you can actually, like a letterhead, but that's not what we do. Let's get rid of that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here's what we're talking about. If you were to be in front of a row of houses and all you've got is your phone on you, excuse me, then you can pull this out, and it's a very, very quick 60-second fix and flip. What acutes to speed? Well, the first thing is it's kind of like when somebody just hands you a bucket of gravel. And let's say you want to get to those fine little gold flecks at the bottom because those are the pure gold. Well, the first thing you would do if you wanted to move quickly is you wouldn't try to take the whole bucket and put it on a really, really fine filter. I mean, that would just take forever. So the first thing you're going to do is put it on like a big grid where it has big holes in it. So the boulders, the absolutely knots, get sorted out first. And I want you to think of this way. You are sorting out the boulders, the absolutely not, this would crush me kind of deals. And what does that mean for fix and flip? Well, the first question in my experience that people want to ask is, are there 3 or more identical properties sold within 1 mile in the last 90 days? If properties aren't selling, as a fix and flip person, the biggest drain on your cash flow is going to be your mortgage. It's going to be your hard money loans. It's going to be all of those quick fixes that you got so you could do the work, but they cost a lot. You got it in quickly, but they're going to charge you. You don't want to be stuck with that long term because your numbers aren't going to work with that long term. Short term they will, but long term they won't. And in some really hot markets, especially with the prices today, oh my goodness, I mean, selling in 90 days versus even just 120 days could be the difference of thousands of dollars going into your pocket as profit or being lost and not making any money on the deal. Like, it can be that tight in very hot markets. So I want you to first ask, are there 3+ identical properties sold within 1 mile in the last 90 days? If so, the market is what we call liquid. You can proceed. Like, you're going to probably be able to move very fast. Not to mention, there's probably activity in the area, carpenters, electricians, roofers, that kind of stuff going on in the area. So you already can figure out a current market cost for all those. If not, well, the market is volatile, especially if you have financing where you don't want to hold it longer than 90 days, then the market would be too volatile for you. So just stop. That's the first one. Like, if that first one doesn't happen, don't even worry about it. Move on to the next market, because speed is what's going to make you your portfolio. But it has to be accurate speed. Let's be very clear. Accurate speed. Don't just go fast for the sake of going fast. You're going to burn. Number 2, is the purchase price less than ARV times 70% minus estimated repairs? 70% is the industry standard. Most likely you're going to be in the range of 75, sometimes even 80. That's just how markets are going with prices and mortgages and that kind of thing from what I've seen. Once again, this is not legal or financial advice. This is just a financial analyst sharing her opinion, pretty much. So if you are within the ARV times 70, that's fantastic. Like, your margin is safe for heirs. Totally proceed. Absolutely, that would be fantastic for you. If it's not, your margin's pretty thin. And especially if you're a newbie or you don't have some extra cash to throw into it, you'll probably want to stop. Because for number 1, it's saying, hey, are people even buying in this area? If you don't even have buyers, what's the point of fixing and flipping? This one is saying, okay, well, will I make a profit? Maybe there's a lot of buyers, but will I make a profit at the end of this? Because let's face it, this isn't a nonprofit. This is, okay, I need to be working. 3, is the foundation, roof, and plumbing free of major or structural defects? What you're looking for here is, how much do I really got to put into this place? Not just time-wise, but money-wise. If your profit margin is only $30,000, well, if it's a cosmetic flip, $30,000 profit is fantastic. If it needs a new roof or has a major plumbing issue that's going to cost you $45,000, boom, all of your profit gone in one major repair. And you're not going to be able, unless it's a super hot market like we already decided in step number 1, you're not going to be able to sell it. You'll be stuck with it if you don't make sure that it's okay. So that's why I say it'll be a cosmetic flip and you can proceed. But if it's not, if you do have foundation, roof, plumbing, HVAC, you've got some of those bigger ticket items, you run a very high risk of what we call budget creep. And you probably want to stop, because it is, like you just saw, with one single major repair or structural issue, all profits can be gone. Boom, one single step. Number 4, is the average DOM, days on market, for this zip code under 45 days? This is different than number 1. Number 1 is like, oh, okay, houses have been sold, but it might have been an investor who purchased 3 or 4 houses in an area because they're anticipating it to be hot. When you start having the bigger numbers, you try to start influencing areas. When people start looking at it and being like, oh wow, 3 houses just sold, this might be a hot market, then other people jump in and then you create the market you were hoping for. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, you got yourself into 3 sinking ships, and that's going to be a headache for you and your bookkeeper in the next 6 months to a year. But number 4 is asking about days on market for your zip code under 45 days. What does this mean? We want to know, are the buyers getting financing? You know, if there's no major issue or whatever, and how quickly can you get your money back? If days on market are 45 days, that means the fact that from the time that they put it on the market, within a month and a half, it was off the market. So wherever you put your money, you got your money back. Under 45 days, you can get your capital out very quickly. Probably want to proceed. If it's over 45 days, depending on how much, there's a high holding cost risk, and it, you know, it risks your profit. So you might not want to. And then number 5, kind of what I'm saying again, is can your buyers get financing? Well, the biggest hurdles for that last little stretch, if you will, is if the property is located outside of a flood zone or high crime pockets. Because maybe this house here was great, but then 3 miles away you find a house and you're like, oh, I'm going to try it. You know, this area has been on the market for, you know, an average of 104 days, but it's only 3 blocks away. I'm going to do it. I know I can do it. And then you get the house and you try to make it look pretty and it looks beautiful. And then you find out that for insurance purposes, they've decided 3 blocks away is a flood zone and they're not going to underwrite it. Or, you know, it's a high crime pocket, that those 3 blocks away, it's now considered high crime and banks don't want to touch it, so they're not going to lend it to buyers even if it looks pretty. So you really want to check that out. At the bottom, there's an area for notes, because no matter what you're doing, you're always going to want to have some additional notes. Here's the owner, or hey, maybe I should do that. And we added a really cool feature on here, which is the reset data button. I can see it on my screen. I can't seem to get it to record. I don't know why, but it is interactive. I don't, yeah, see, this is still in the when you purchase the PDF, it's an interactive PDF that we'll have available, I think, first on Gumroad, and we might get it onto our actual website. The RE, oh, well, look at that. Why is there space? Looks like there's a space. There is a space. We'll need to double check that on the final product too. Let's see that. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. I'm not trying to build a bunch of bookkeepers on this channel. I'm trying to help actual real estate investors. And from what I've been told, this is the stuff people are wanting. You're out there driving for dollars. You're out there in the real world. Having these quick check marks and understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it brings value to you. So if you have an idea for something that would help you, you were just out there, you're like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool if I just had an edited PDF in my phone about this. drop it in the comments below, reach out to us on our website, whichever you want to do. And yeah, let's start getting some cool tools into your hands that will genuinely help you. And let's go do some deals, people. This is a little bit shorter than usual, but that's just because it's intended to be. It's a 60-second fix and flip analysis. Not every deal should be forced into working. I want to say that again, and I want you to really hear this. Not every deal. In fact, most deals, you do not want to try to force it to work. Think of it like finding the gold nugget. You put it through the sifter, you put it through the sifter. If you could take all the time in the world and you got a boulder and you've got a little rock hammer and you can try to break it up and break it up and break it up and force it to go through the grid, fine. Waste your time and your energy. But if you want that gold nugget as quickly as possible, it's all about qualifying. Qualifying, 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 qualifying. Do not try to sell. I think that's the biggest mistake I see in newbies is they try to convince somebody to sell their property. Now that's different than just making an offer. Somebody wants $50,000 over asking price and it needs like $80,000 in repairs. It happens every day, people. That's somebody who, oh, I've been in this house for 30 years and I don't, they're not in touch with the reality of the situation. Do you really want to take your time forcing that person, or do you want to qualify? Qualifying might sound like this. Hey, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm seeing your house. It's gorgeous. You've clearly, done a lot to this house. It's clearly been loved over the years. But with the marketing or the mortgage prices right now, this is what would happen. They're going to offer me this percent. It would cost me this much per month. And during the current rents, I could only get this much per rent. So I would actually be having to pay $800 per month if I gave it to you in that price. Would you realistically ask your family to go buy a house that they had to pay $800 every month just to have somebody else live in it? And of course they're going to say, well, no, that doesn't make sense. Well. And then maybe it'll be well, actually, I don't want to sell, but my brother's pressuring me to do this, or, my sister's really just trying to tell me I need to move on. Now you're going to understand a different motivation. That layer of questioning is fine because you're still in the discovery part of the call. But if you discover you've gone through all of your clarifying questions and you discover that this person, that's their price and they're not budging, and because they don't really want to sell, then move on. Move on, move on, move on. Speed, speed, speed. If you move with enough speed, if you analyze enough properties, you will find something that meets a realistic analysis. Too many times people don't leave themselves enough room for when things go wrong. And I am an absolute firm believer that you should decide what is everything that could go wrong in this deal. For a fix and flip, it could be, dang it, no properties are selling. This liquid is, this is not a seller's market right now. Or this is not a seller's market because you're trying to sell it. So this is not a seller's market right now. Or, hey, you know what? This is a very thin margin. We're not talking, oh, a $45,000 roof could eat up all my profits. We're talking a $4,500 repair could eat up my profits. And sometimes when you get in a fix and flip and they did not analyze it properly in the beginning, they are literally just trying to get out of there with zero in their pocket. It's sad, but it happens all the time. They figure, hey, as long as I don't take a huge loss or I only take a small loss, at least I survived this one. So I don't want you to feel that way. I don't want you to go through that. I want you to have tools at your disposal that will help you not only be quick, but be accurate. If you can figure out a deal is, you know, green flag, red flag within 60 seconds. Like if it matched all of these things, 3 or more properties have been sold within 1 mile in just the last 90 days. You actually could have, the ARV with the 70% rule. There's only cosmetics to go. You can get your capital out in under 45 days, and the property will allow people for easy finance. Now that's a green light. Now that's okay, what are the hiccups? I explain it this way. There are walls and there are hiccups. When you hit a wall, absolutely, you can keep trying to go through it. You can keep trying to beat on that thing until it falls down. And sometimes they do, but it usually takes a lot of effort. And then there are the hiccups. You're trying to talk, and it's like, oh, hold on a sec, let's take a breath. Then you're trying to talk, oh, hold on a sec, let's take a breath. Take a few breaths, take a few setbacks. What do I mean by that? Let's say it seems like an amazing fix and flip analysis, but the paint color that you wanted to have, that your end buyer insisted on having, is discontinued. Okay, that's a hiccup. Take a breath. Can you find something that's close enough that when the buyer gets in there, they don't even notice? Because it is amazing how many people notice the difference on a paint swatch, but then you actually put it up in the room, and if you don't tell them, they don't even notice it. Not saying you do that, not saying you lie to people, let them know there's a change. But I'm just saying, sometimes what seems like a wall is only a hiccup. So try to avoid the walls and take deep breaths through the hiccups. No matter what you do in life, every step of the way will be a hiccup. It will. You just have to learn how to get better at breathing through it. Just breathe through it. And especially if you're in the business of fix and flips, get used to it. Just get used to it. Don't let it destroy your happiness and your mentality, because we've all met that person who they just weren't prepared, or they haven't been able to set proper boundaries, so their standards keep getting violated, and they are just bitter and they are angry, and they're never fun to work with. Don't become one of those people, in my professional opinion. So yeah, that is our presentation for the day, and I think this will be helpful for people. We'll try to get this up and running. That's all I got for today. We don't have anybody in the chat through YouTube today, so I won't say that there, but we're not pushing the YouTube channel yet. I think it would be smart to have a few of these things in the store, and especially when we make the dashboards, because that's my dream. That's my dream, is take this PDF and now imagine a dashboard. You can literally just open it up on your iPad. Page 1 has an entry form, and you just enter in as much as you can, and then you click a little button on the bottom. There you go. So page 1 would have, you put in all the information, and then you click a button on the bottom, and there's page 2, and it has all your KPIs, all your key indicators. Very, very quickly, it would give a probability of success. It's not financial advice. It can't guarantee it. You can always do creative financing and find other options, but it would at least help you out and give you a better understanding of what's going on. And then, of course, we would follow up with more detailed pages as you decide to go in more depth. That's my vision of it. I would love that for people, because I think this is the future. I think people are already doing this. So I think just provide what people already want, and people will use it. All right, y'all. You have a great, fantastic day. We will see you. I will follow up with the Facebook community. Let me actually do that now. Here we go. The power of planning for future needs. Love it. Thank you. Yes. Oh, an idea for creating a free downloadable spreadsheet to keep track of their books for their Schedule E. Yes, we had talked about doing that. So that will be part of it. That will be for the future. Part of it is to see helping you guys while your boots on the ground, and then also helping you while tax time comes around, helping you keep track of what's going on, but not in a overwhelmingly way. I'm trying to help simplify all the confusion for people, not add to it. If you really want the complexity to it, I think become an expert or hire an expert. That's just my opinion. Your expertise as an investor should be stuff like this, deal analysis. You should be able to know how to get into an acquisition quickly if it's the right one for you, how long to hold it, the best way to hold it, and what's your best exit strategy. And those three things, oh my God, each one can take a lifetime to master. It really can. So just remember that you're supposed to be working on the business and let your experts work in the business for you. That would be my advice. All right, everybody, you have a great morning, and we will catch you next time.